Okay guys, so as you all know, my love affair with the BMW E39, it's well documented. I have not one, but two of these things. Okay, it all started back in, I think I was in either high school or uni, I can't remember when, but I do remember the specific setting, and it had to be after 2001 because it was an evening. All right, it was the sun was just setting, and I distinctly remember it was a maroon colored E39 facelift on the road with the 4 angel eyes lit up, and I was like, damn, that is a sight to behold. You know, that is a car that I want. Okay, and the thing is this, before the E39 came along, car headlight designs were very plain. The E39 was the car that pioneered lighting signature that every other car now has to some degree or other today. Well, back in my youth, during those days, right, if you remember in the early 2000s, European cars were seen in a much more fearful light compared to today. Back then, cars like the E39 or any European cars in general were viewed like, oh, a continental car, sure expensive to maintain. So a lot of us at that time could not relate to BMWs or Mercedes or whatnot. We were all mostly looking at Japanese cars to satisfy our fix for cars. When you go on forums and all that, right, people will say, oh, you know lah, the E39s are nice to look at, nice to drive, but expensive to maintain and all that. So for the longest time, even as I went into adulthood, as E39s became progressively more affordable to own, I've always had that block in my head that thought that these cars are expensive to maintain. I've always admired the E39 from afar. I never had the courage to even go up close, sit in one, test drive one, and figure what this car is about. I've only looked at it from afar and I was like, oh, that's a nice car. I love the way it looks, but never summoned the courage to even get near it, because I always, at that time, I saw it as a car that was sort of out of my league. And in 2017, I had the chance to attend the International Media Drive of the G30 5 Series in Portugal. And in that event program was the opportunity for us to test drive past versions of the 5 Series, beginning from the E12. Right? So we drove the E12, the E28, E34, and of course, I had a go at the E39 for the very first time. And I drove it, I was, wow, this car is exactly what I expected it. It's exactly what I read about in reviews. It is lovely to drive, and I came back, you know, determined that I would work my way to getting one. And in 2018, I finally pulled the trigger. I bought this 520i. I was aiming for a 525. I knew I wanted a facelift unit because it was, after all, the 4 angel eyes that made me fall in love with the E39. So definitely I wanted one with the facelift design. I was looking to target the 525. At that time, I was still stuck in the whole road tax consideration. 520, yeah, $400-500 road tax. 525 is a nice sweet spot, 800 over ringgit. 530, crazy, 2,000 over. So yeah, I was looking at a 525, and I remember the first E39 that I went to view was actually a 520, same batch as this car, but the owner had converted it to a 530i manual. I was like, wow, that is a dream spec. But it was one of those conversions whereby they put a 3-liter engine in there and didn't declare the conversion. So yeah, that car had a bit of problems passing the Puspakom inspection. Okay, so that didn't happen. And I went to view a couple of other cars. I think there was a grey 520i I drove. I was like, okay, hey, the power of this car is not bad. Maybe the engine was tuned, but I wasn't very happy with the bodywork condition of that car, so I skipped that. Then there was one day I went to see a 525 in Serdang, I think. So that car was a low spec car, condition wasn't very good. I looked at it, nah. And on the way back home from that dealership, I drove past the dealership that was having this car. So yeah, so I just went in, I looked at the car, I took a short test drive. I said, hey, okay, yeah, it's a 520. I was hoping for a 525, but it was a 520, but condition was so good, right? So I said, okay lah, you know, I gave the dealer an offer. Took them a while to get back to me, and after that we sent the car to that time Wern's Auto House for an inspection, and yeah, a week later I was the proud owner of this BMW E39 520i. And it didn't take long for me to discover, after I owned this car for some time, I was like, I'm starting to itch for a little bit more power. So yeah, I mean, I was happy with the car. We drove it to enduro and all that, but at the back of my mind I was looking, maybe if the opportunity comes, I should trade this up for a 530i, because I can plug and play and install a 3-litre engine into this, but getting that change endorsed, it will require quite a bit of work, because it exceeds the JPJ engine capacity limit of 25 or 30%. So you have to go through an extra step of going to JPJ engineering, and maybe if a good condition 530i comes along, I may trade this car out for it. Then in 2021, MCO happened, right? So one of my wife's friend was disposing of his 525, and I wasn't looking to get a 525. But as you all know, that it was my favorite car with my name and birthday on the number plate. So I decided, okay lah, why not, right? Just buy it. And I know E39s like the back of my hand. I know that, you know, even if the car didn't work out, I wasn't going to lose a lot of money. So I went ahead and bought the car. Bobby actually discouraged me from doing it, but I was just captivated by the plate, and I went ahead and bought it. And that car has an interesting story. The reason why I bought that car also was for its story. You see, that car previously belonged to the Austrian embassy, and as a result, right, the spec of that car is entirely unique. Fabric seats, split folding rear seats, but otherwise it was quite a low spec car compared to this one. But this one has electric seats, it has the high onboard computer, which the other car does not have. But the other one does have the 2.5 engine that I feel is a bit more lazy at the top end, a bit less enthusiastic to rev, but much better low to mid-range. So getting off from a standstill in the 525 is a lot more effortless, but the 520 here is more rev happy. So that was the story of how I ended up with two BMW E39s. And recently I've gotten myself to think, what's next? What's next? I mean, my next step dream car is, of course, the M5. But the problem, of course, as we all know, is that my favorite is the E39 M5, but E39 M5 is all easily ~1 cash buy, and I'm in no position right now to shell out ~250,000 cash buy for a car. So, but the thing is this, I've also come to another realization, a few realizations along the way. Firstly, even if I do get an E39 M5, that car, because of its age, and also for my two E39s right now, reliable as they are, well-built, solidly engineered as they are, once a car passes a certain age, you really don't want to use them as daily workhorses to deal with the stresses of daily traffic. I mean, back then when I was with the Horizon core team reviewing cars, working fully from home, yes, the E39 was good. But now, because I have my business to attend to, I've got a lot more traveling to do, whilst also continuing to balance my media duties. I found that I need something more modern, something more effortless. So even if we are not talking about a new gen F10 or F90 M5, the next car that I have to get has to be something along the lines of a 535i or a 540i, a 250 to 300 horsepower workhorse that would allow me to effortlessly cover long distances. And the thing is that with all that in mind, I have set my sights that my next car would be an F90 M5. Here's the thing, I've also recently went on a spiritual journey. I've come to learn and believe in spirituality, and also I've recently come to embrace the law of attraction. I'm seeing it work positive changes in my life. I'm not going to talk too much about that because that's not a topic that I am an expert in, but suffice to say that one of the learnings that I've picked up is that with the law of attraction, you manifest new things in your life, or you manifest abundance in your life when you allow things to flow through you like a river. All right, let's put it this way. A person who places great emphasis on spending 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, your mindset is locked in that amount. What will happen is that you will be attracting money in the scale of 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, versus somebody who's accustomed to spending 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000. Your mind will correspondingly be tuned to attract that kind of abundance as well, because that to you is your normal state. To you, 100 ringgit in and out, or 1,000 ringgit in and out, or 10,000 ringgit in and out, that's your normal state. And the other thing is this: when you have the means but you don't allow your resources to flow freely, all right, when there's something you like and you can't afford it, what it means is that you are hoarding your wealth. You are you are blocking the flow of abundance in and out of your life, and as a result, you introduce blockages in your life. And with that, I came to the realization that I love the E39 a lot, but I don't need two of them in my life. I really, really don't. So I have come to the decision that it is time for me to find a new home for one of my E39s. And yesterday I was out having dinner with my family, and I just looked up at the sky. I asked the universe, I said, look, I think it's time for me to find a new home for one of my cars. And I asked for a sign. Which car should I let go? And would you believe it? The whole time, the whole night, I kid you not, the whole night I was seeing blue objects in front of me. Blue signboards, people wearing blue clothes, blue umbrella, blue cushion at a restaurant, right? Even my brother-in-law's watch face was showing blue face. So that to me was a clear sign that the universe has chosen for me to find a new home for my 525i. Even though I was for the longest time actually contemplating to let this one go, but it would seem that the better plan for me is to let the blue one go.
This video is brought to you by EvoClub Car Wash. Our motto is service and solutions. You can bring your car to us for deep cleaning, shining, full-on restoration, or just a regular wash. Whatever it is you need help sorting out on your car, we are more than happy to assist. To get in touch with us, drop us a line on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp us on the number on your screen now.
Okay guys, I kid you not, for the past 1 week, I saw firstly this guy here materialize in front of Prestige Car Trade, and I think a few days ago somebody else messaged me that he is finding a new home for his F90 M5, and that to me is another sign that the universe is bringing an M5 closer and closer to me, and the logical thing to do therefore is to free up space to be ready to receive it. Is why hence I am helping to find this guy a new home. I promised my team here that on the day that I get my M5, we will celebrate it with a race for the team. Okay? All right. So, it's not here yet, but it's getting close. And I believe in order to manifest that occurrence, I want to find this guy a good home. This car is in buy and drive condition. I'll give it a full service. All the fluids will be changed. You basically will receive the car in buy and drive condition. And this car is packed with goodies. The paint job is new. This is, I believe, the only E39 in Malaysia that I know of with this special Toledo blue color, because this car is a former embassy car. This Toledo blue paint was of course done at PDL Auto Works. The headlights have been upgraded to LEDs by CSB Pro, and it maintains the original look. This plate holder has a car trade label here. This is something that I customized for this car as a little fat toy. Back in the 1990s, the BMW distributorship in Malaysia was split into two. Auto Bavaria was selling the CKD BMWs. Car Trade was holding all the APs for CBU BMWs. So they were the ones bringing in CBU BMWs for Auto Bavaria to sell, and they were also selling their own lineup of CBU BMWs. These tires are new, relatively new Continental MC6. The car is running on 235 45 17s on all four corners. Now, because you see, with the E39, right, 17-inch wheels, there are two options. You have either square setup or you have staggered setup. Staggered setup, the rear wheels 255 40 17, very hard to source tire size. So that's why for both my E39s, I put them a square setup, 235 45 17s, front and back. And you see, what another little nifty addition that I've done to this is that I have changed the front discs. Okay, the front discs are enlarged. These are 530i front discs, so it gives the car much better stopping power compared to the regular discs. The tail lights, I have also changed a set of tail lights. These are new tail lights. Well, used lah. This handle is also changed because it's integrated with a reverse camera. Initially, my plan really was to keep this car as a showpiece car, but when the heavens give you an answer, you respond to it lah. So here's the biggest news of this car. This is fully re-upholstered by DK Schweitzer, and this is, I believe, the only E39 sedan in Malaysia with 60-40 split folding seats. The armrest also is unique because this is the only one that has this thin design armrest. The regular E39s with the non-folding seats, they have the thick armrest. Okay, so here I've also retrofitted a cup holder. Okay. And over here, you can see the front end. Now this one has manual seats. I've also changed the steering. This is the low OBC cluster. Here you have the X-Trons infotainment system. Now, more excitingly is, typically this is a spot where we have a cup holder. I've taken this cup holder out for development purpose. So for potential buyers, I give you two options. One, I'll take the cup holder from that car, put it here, or I'm actually in the midst of developing something unique. I'm developing a wireless Qi charger, custom built specifically for the E39, which I will install here. You will have wireless Qi charging, and you will also have two USB ports here. This also needs fixing. I'll mend this because this tray here, this trim piece is broken. So this is something that I will mend for you guys before I hand over the car. Now, let me just take you on a quick tour of this infotainment unit. So this is the X-Trons infotainment system. It connects to the reverse camera, and this is something that I always like to do. There's this little app here that I installed. If you feel like it, you can give this the iDrive look. Okay guys, so it is with a very heavy heart that I now formally declare that this 525 is ready to find its way to a new home. Whoever of you that ends up buying this, please appreciate it. Give it lots of love. You will always be welcome back to EvoClub Car Wash for a proper cleanup. And of course, I will have the car thoroughly cleaned up, fully serviced before I hand it over to you guys. Drop me a line here at this number or email if you are interested to be its new master. Or if you are just looking for a car wash, you want to have your car polished, deep clean, whatever, you're also just as welcome to hit me up on the same contact.